Hey everyone, happy new year. I don't think I've been live this year yet. So happy new year everybody. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. And as promised, thank you. I am here with Cory Beal, our resident professional in insurance. And we're going to be talking about insurance. And I went in my Facebook group, I talked about generational wealth and my story of generational wealth a few days back. And then I was like, Cory, we need to talk about how folks can build generational wealth if they're not, in a position to be buying real estate and that type of thing. And one of the ways that you can absolutely do that is through life insurance. And I think it's one of the best kept secrets of wealthy white people. So
Absolutely. It's the best kept secret and life insurance. Prudential, think like in 2019 had 2018 rather had an article out said the best kept secret in the insurance industry is tax-free retirement. But since then, that article has not been circulating because the lobbyists don't want the people to know about the tax advantages that life insurance has over every financial product that's out there on the market right now. And white folks, they listen here, man. They definitely take advantage of this loophole
yeah.
that I really wish many of us would stop saying it's a damn scam and understand that it's a loophole.
Yes. And I'm telling you, my grandmother, when I was 20 years old, she told me I needed to get a life insurance policy. I had my first insurance policy through MetLife. I got it when I was 20 or 21 years old. But many of us don't have that family member to tell us. And so again, we're leery about, life insurance. Not only that, we don't want to think about our mortality, and we don't realize that some of the plans even have living benefits. And you are one of the first people when I moved here. Cory and I sat down with one another, and Cory was one of the first people to start to teach me about life insurance and some of the benefits of it long term, as well as the benefits, living in, if you were to become disabled or be out of work. So let's get to it, Cory. Let's give us some lessons. Tell us just a little bit about, life insurance. And I want to make sure, again, many times we don't have thousands of dollars in the bank and things like that. So we feel like we can't start to build the generational wealth to help our children. But life insurance is absolutely a vehicle, and also it's not expensive. So I always try to bring home the fact that you can get life insurance and is not going to cost you what you probably have in your mind that it's going to cost you. So
Right,
Cory,
absolutely. I
talk
mean,
to
life
us.
insurance, depending on how we structure it, it's really not as expensive as many think, right? And like I said, me being a former licensed banker, when someone tell me they can't afford anything, I just need to look at your bank statement. Your bank statement will tell all, right? But one of the things, like one of the life hacks about life insurance, that if you want to get money at the end of your policy, right? Something that we don't talk about enough is term insurance with return of premium, right? Most people don't
Return the
know they said
premium.
90, about
Oh,
98% of people will outlive their term insurance. You're going to flat out outlive it. And most people know term insurance is the most economical way of getting some life insurance because its job is to replace your income should you pass away. And you're supposed to get 10 times the amount of your income. So if you make 10,000 a year, then your term insurance policy should be 100,000, right? Because it's designed to replace the income. But most people ask this question: well, after my 20-year term is up, after my 30-year term is up, where does that money go? That's why most people don't like to invest in life insurance, because they feel like I'm gonna outlive it. Well, the solution to something like that is get a term insurance policy with what's called an ROP, a return of premium, right? So a term insurance policy, let's say it may cost $25 for you, Danielle, right? Then if I offer the benefit return of premium, it may cost you $45, right? But at the end of your 30th year, you're going to get 75% of your money back tax free.
Oh.
That's the benefit right there. So you have a bunch of insurance agents. They sell based on their pockets versus the value to our clients, right? You may not think $45 is a lot of money. Yes, you could go get a term insurance policy for $18, $19,
Yeah.
$20, but at the end of the 30 years, you don't get anything back. However, at the end of the 30 years, if I offer you an opportunity to get 75% of your money back that's tax free, what could you do with that money?
Man.
Because I sit
Well, I'm
down with a
sitting
lot
here
of
mad
people in their
about all
50s and
that life.
60s that don't have money. So
Yeah.
that extra 30,000 may come right in handy,
Yeah.
you
So it's
know,
almost like a
in
savings
30
account.
years. So
Yeah.
that's an option that white America inexplicably take advantage of. Like every time I sit down with a client that's white and I offer return of premium, it's a no-brainer to them. I get 75% of my money back. Absolutely. You get 75% of your money back. So basically, it's a win-win. Your term is up. Here goes 75% of your money. Go do what you do. That's one of the life insurance hacks that many people in our community we don't know about, or we always want to go on price. I could get you the cheapest.
Mm.
I'm under the belief life insurance shouldn't be the cheapest if you're looking to protect your family. You should be able to pay a nice amount to ensure that your family is protected. But most importantly, if you go that term route, you should definitely get term insurance with return to premium. And it's a few carriers that offer the real crown jewel of life insurance, living benefits. So you could
Mm.
get 3 in 1. You could get living benefits, which is if you have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, any type of critical chronic illness, you take money from this term insurance policy, you never pay it back. Right? So
Mm.
many of us, as we get into our early mid 30s and 40s, we start to live sedentary lifestyles. So
Mm.
as we're living this sedentary lifestyle, 9 times out of 10, that's when the heart attacks come, the strokes comes, the cancers come, because we're not active like we once was. We're still eating like we 17, partying like we're 21, but we working out like we 95, like we just run away from the damn gym. We ain't active no more, right? So we start to get these illnesses that our race tend to have, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing we do is we either go into the equity of our home. That's if we are a homeowner.
Yeah.
We go into our 401k. That's if we're investing in our 401k. Because believe it or not, most black folks don't start investing in a 401k till they late 30s,
Oh, Jesus.
right? Or we start to borrow money from friends and family. When
Mm.
you can actually have a life insurance policy that you've been paying 60 some dollars a month on to have access to hundreds of thousands of dollars that you could pull money from that could protect the nest egg you starting to build, could protect the loss of income
Mm.
that you may lose due to these type of illnesses, right?
Yeah.
So these are things that our counterparts are taking advantage of without a shadow of a doubt, and that's something that our community need to
Yeah.
be
So I
really
hear a
focused on. Like
lot
this
of
been out since
folks.
1995.
Yeah.
It's 2020, and we're
Yeah.
not talking about living benefits and return to premium.
And again, these are things I had no idea until I sat down with you, 4 years ago. So into
I
my
spent 40
30s.
years. Damn, did
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, it's been about 4 years now. But so another thing I hear people say a lot of times is, well, I have a policy through my job, so I don't need an additional policy. We leave jobs all the time, right? Whether we want to or don't want to leave, like it
Right.
happens,
They said
right?
the average American gonna have 15 jobs, right? 15 job mind, but
Mhm.
not at the same time. So if you know that you're gonna leave your job, that's great. Have insurance at work. It's pennies on the dollar. It's
Mhm.
group coverage, right? But most jobs don't have insurance with living benefits.
Mhm.
Most jobs don't have cash value insurance where you can borrow from the policy and become your own bank, right?
Mhm.
And this is what we was talking about. Since this is the topic, how to build wealth, right? 20, 30, 40 years from now, no one on this telephone and no one on this live would know what taxes would be 30
Mhm.
years from now, 40 years from now. Y'all know the government is in debt.
Yeah.
like over damn near 50 trillion
Yeah.
in debt. How you think they're gonna get their money back?
Raising
They're gonna
taxes.
get it back through taxation, right?
Mhm.
So many people, say if you live in the state of Georgia, not only do you got to pay a federal tax, but you got to pay the state tax. So you may have a nice nest egg of $500,000 in your 401k, right?
Mhm.
Because you've been contributing it for the past 25, 30 years. Do you know 55% of your money is going to get taxed?
Ooh, Lord.
55% of your money will get taxed if you're in a state that has state and federal taxes.
Crazy.
However, if you took that same money and put it into a life insurance product, you receive that money tax free at the end of your retirement because of one tax code, IRS 7702, which states that life insurance, basically, so many words, death is not considered a taxable event.
Mm.
As long as you have $1 in that policy, the cash value that you can accrue, you can pull that money out tax free. So I'd rather have my $500,000 coming to me tax free at age 65, 75, and don't give the states any of my money
Yeah.
versus knowing that 55% of my money is going to be taxed when I'm
Crazy.
done with my 401k or my 403b. Right. So you can use this to supplement your retirement,
Mhm.
planning, right? But to ensure that you got money coming in tax free, why not take advantage of that? And see,
Yeah.
that's the tax code that you're not going to hear us speak about. We don't talk about this enough in our community, right? We don't talk about the importance of tax deferred growth. Inflation is the number one reason we can't even build wealth, right? Because the
Yeah.
dollar is constantly losing its value
Mhm.
and taxes is constantly going up. So you want to be able to put your money in a vehicle that protects you from that.
Absolutely. And I sat down and talked to someone a while back who informed me about, I think it was a whole life policy that really acts as a savings account because you're putting your money in. Not only that, it was gaining interest plus the tax benefits. So, and it was gaining more interest than you getting in your, that 1% you getting in your savings account right now, or
Yeah,
point
ooh,
one or
1%,
point
you
zero
being
one.
nice.
I
You
know
being nice.
0.01 or point 1.
0.222% in their savings account. Everybody don't got money market money,
Yeah, and they were
But
talking
you can
about,
put your money in that type of account, a whole life account that could get you a guaranteed 4% interest.
yeah,
I know that may not sound a lot, but it's compounding, right? Contingent on how much you put in there, you could basically become your own bank if you really understand how to structure life insurance. But most importantly, that interest rate is guaranteed.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's just one. If we talk about the account that I love to talk about, which is the IUL, which has been averaging over 9% in the past 30 years. If you
Mm,
look at 2002 when we had a recession, you look at 2007, 2008 when we had a recession, and the recession we just had, when the pandemic hit, right,
yeah.
when the stock market took a little small tank, people who had money in their index universal life products didn't lose a damn dime.
Mm,
They didn't lose a dime, and some of them, if it was structured properly, was still gaining 4 to 5% a year if it
ooh,
was
Lord.
structured properly, right? So you have to sit down with a professional that can structure these cash value life insurance policies that can help you build growth. And I always want people to think of it like this because in our community, we have a fixation of wanting to build wealth fast, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like losing weight. We want to gain weight. We want to lose the weight that took us 15 years to gain in 4 months, right? So we don't want to start investing, and all of a sudden, as soon as we put $1 in, we need a milli in 2 weeks, right? So you got to look at this as your financial garden. This is your financial garden, and it's going to take time for it to harvest, right?
Mm,
And so the question I asked you, I said, if you was a farmer and you know a drought is going to come, when do you want your drought? Do you want your drought when you plant the seed, or do you want your drought at harvest? And
exactly.
you'll be surprised how many people say, I want my drought at harvest. And I tell people, you don't want that because your harvest is your total accumulation. That's that 55% taxes the state of Georgia is waiting on.
They can't
because
wait.
you accumulated. Now I'm finna take half of your harvest and you got to grow again. And you 65 years old. You don't got time to get out there and work again. They already snatched a Target up, Walmart up, McDonald's up. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't gonna be pretty soon. They gonna snatch Uber up and Amazon Flex up and all that. You ain't gonna be able to drive. You
Yeah.
like the gig economy will come to an end in the next 10 to 12 years.
Mm.
Right? So you got to ask yourself, what am I doing to accumulate wealth right now? So you want your money to be taxed. You want your harvest at your lowest seed, which is what you're currently making right now. Right? You at your lowest tax amount that you could be right now. So you're getting taxed at 10%, 15%, right? You want that $100 tax versus that 1,000 because you can take your after tax dollars and fund your retirement. Whether you put it in the cash value life insurance product, whether you put it when you complement it with a Roth IRA, which is another tax-free vehicle as well. You got to understand taxes and inflation kill your wealth. And if you're the conservative person who don't want to get into the stock market, even though I tell folks all the time, if y'all follow me, turn your damn phone into an ATM machine. Turn your laptop into an ATM machine, because that's what the stock market can do. Like we're in the stock market group talking about these stocks we bought when it was $3.50 that rose up to $62 right now.
Lord.
And I have bought like 50 shares at $3.23. So you know I'm sitting on something nice.
Yeah.
Right? So, but how I do that on my telephone,
Yeah.
I tell folks all the time, turn your phone into an ATM machine. Turn your phone to a, but many of us, we're slow balling that. Like we refuse to do that because we're asking people, just think about this, Danielle. We're asking a race of people whose median income is $29,000 a year who don't invest. Is this a scam? We're asking people who make less than $30,000 a year.
But then you see, but it's like you said, everybody wants that quick return because they put that 600 in that susu because they think they're gonna get the 1,800 back or whatever, you know. So, you know, it's all about that quick gain for a lot of folks. But it's up to us to educate ourselves and then to also then go educate our families and our communities. And so that's why having you is so important to this community. You know, a lot of this information you're sharing right now, I got from you years ago. But why would I keep that to myself? No, we're gonna share this with the community because we can all win. You know, me having a policy ain't gonna keep. You know, my policy ain't got nothing to do with your policy. You gonna still get your payout. Whether we have to learn how to share this information.
I want to clear this up. Listen here. As more than 1,000 ways to skin a cat. What we have to stop doing in